flavored. That's pretty good.
Yeah, put that. Do you have your cup?
I do have a cup. It's got some coffee in it.
I can put it. I can get. We have another cup.
No, it's fine.
Sure.
It's good. Yeah.
All right.
Who is watching this?
Right. So right now there should be no one because we're supposed to live stream it, but
But it's not.
we couldn't because we had to wait 24 hours.
Okay.
So we're making it, and then we're gonna post it probably later today or Monday, and then a little bit during lunch.
Where's it being posted?
YouTube. So there's a whole YouTube channel. Did Grant say something in the beginning, or what he said?
I think he just started off
Just welcome.
just like welcome here with Schenk, just like a little introduction.
All right. Okay.
Go whenever I have it running.
All right. Hello. Welcome. Okay. Hello. Welcome to our channel. Today we're going to be interviewing Mr. Schenk, English teacher. You want to introduce yourself?
I am Mr. Schenk, an English teacher at Cedar Crest High School.
All right. Do a little interview, but first we'll get the drink review. Today we got the Mountain Valley Sparkling Water White Peach. Let's see what Schenk thinks about it. Oh gosh, I hope it doesn't spill.
Oh, well done.
Yeah, I got that close. So are you a big fan of sparkling water, or?
I really like sparkling water. I have a sparkling water every day. About 10 years ago, Mrs. Filer's Healthy Challenge. I
Yeah.
recommend that. For the Healthy Challenge, I decided to replace my daily soda pop with sparkling water, and I have not looked back. My daughter and I try to find all sorts of different kinds of sparkling waters. The weirder the water, the better.
Yeah.
And the weirdest and worst one we ever tasted was s'mores.
S'mores?
S'mores flavored water, and it was as bad as it sounds.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.
Oof. I'm not a big fan of sparkling water, but I like the flavor of it, so I'm gonna have to give it a 6 out of 10. What do you have to give it? Rate out of 10?
I think a 6 or 7 is good. It's not super sparkly.
Yeah.
It's almost like sparkling water that's been left open for a while. But the flavor's good. Smells good. It's cold. That's nice.
Yeah. So I want to start off by asking about what was your early life like?
My early life.
Like growing up.
Growing up, I went to high school in Bothell,
Uh-huh.
in Kenmore actually, at Inglemore High School. How far back do we want to go?
Just as far as you want.
That was my third house that I lived in.
Wow.
I was born in Tacoma. We lived in Federal Way, and then we moved to Port Orchard, which is kind of out on a peninsula, and then we moved to Bothell when I was 11.
Yeah.
Started working when I was 11.
Wow.
Had a job ever since.
Where were you working at?
Paperboy.
Paperboy? You had any weird experiences being a paperboy?
I can remember getting up, so I had an early morning route,
Yeah.
and I had to get up and out of the house by about 5 o'clock every day. And I can remember there was one winter when it was really, really cold, and like 6 degrees in the morning. And my parents got up, and I thought, well, maybe they're going to drive me around. They just made sure I was dressed warm, and then sent me out in a 6-degree weather with for an hour to deliver newspapers.
Wow.
So yeah, learned a little fortitude there.
Yeah. Do you have any high school memories you have? Like, what was your favorite memory from high school?
Favorite memory from high school? Whew, that was a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
I would say an unusual memory from high school was I showed up one day and we had a PE teacher who was kind of an old and grumpy man. And I was in his advanced PE class, and he came walking past me with his fist all balled up, and he goes, "You're on my list, Schenk."
Oh my God.
And I don't
For
know
no
why
reason?
I'm on your list. Well, his list apparently was he woke up that morning,
Yeah.
and there was about 40 pieces of yard statuary in his yard
God.
that some of my classmates had put there, but I didn't know anything about it.
Was it a senior prank?
But I was on his. I guess so. Yeah, sort of a senior prank, or maybe they just. I don't know if they liked him or didn't like him, but they stole a bunch of lawn art and put it in his yard.
Wow. That's crazy. So, how was college? Like, where did you go to college, and how was it like your freshman year?
I went to University of Washington,
Mhm.
and I actually wound up going back to the University of Washington for a second time. I spent 7 glorious years there.
Oh gosh.
The first year was fun. It was a big adjustment, though. It was a big adjustment because in high school everything was very structured. There were 6 periods a day. There was somebody making sure you were doing everything. And I had, maybe some people who were watching this can relate, a little bit of senioritis. That sort of spilled over into the start of college. And I had to redevelop some work habits, which I did. I was fine. It worked out okay. But it was all of a sudden having only 3 classes a day, and so I had a lot more free time. And I didn't use that time to do this studying that I was supposed to be doing outside of class, and that cost me early on. And then I figured things out, like I think most people do. But to let that be a warning to everybody that you need to. From the start, you can learn from my bad example, and hopefully do all the reading you're supposed to be doing and do all the writing you're supposed to be doing outside of class. Do your homework.
You got any funny stories or any weird stories you had from freshman year of college?
From freshman year of college? Okay. Yeah, so I decided, I was planning to live at home. And then decided to live in a dormitory. It's kind of at the last minute, and there weren't a whole lot of great spots left. So I got paired with a guy that I didn't know in what turned out to be the graduate dormitory, like graduate students. So it was all graduate students and family students, and this dormitory was super duper quiet, which is not the experience I was looking for when I was 18. I wanted some more fun and some more people my age, and we called it the mortuary. But there were a handful of spots open in other dormitories and other parts of the campus that I wanted to live on, that you couldn't apply to move until the 3rd week of school. So at like 8 a.m., the minute it was possible, I had a list of the rooms, and I went to the one that was on the lowest level of the dormitory that I wanted to live in, and I ran up the stairs, and I pounded on the door, because I needed to get the signature from the person who was in there. It's okay if this guy's my roommate. And I woke up some guy who opened the door in a t-shirt and his boxer shorts. Said, well, can I help you? And I'm like, yeah, can I be your roommate? Sure. And he signed a piece of paper.
You just went up there and
just went up there and knocked on the door. And I actually was really good friends with him for a long time. And after I graduated, moved away for a while, we were roommates again for a long time. And he actually still works for the University of Washington. Nice guy.
So once you were done with college, did you go straight to Cedar Crest, or did you bounce around schools?
Oh, once I was done with college?
Once you're done.
So I had a 20-year career as a sports writer first. I was a journalist. And then went back and got a master's degree in teaching. And my first interview that I had for a job was at Cedar Crest. And they offered me the job before I left the parking lot. And I thought about it for a day, and then decided, this is what I wanted to do. And I thought I drive 45 minutes each way to and from home. I didn't think that I would stay more than a couple of years because of that commute, but this is year 18. And I've really liked it. I like my coworkers. I like the students here. There's a lot of family support, and it feels like a great community. So I've enjoyed my time at Cedar Crest.
Staying on the high school topic, I have some questions. You're in the second hall by who is it? Parrish and Fassler. So we're thinking, who's the bully in the second upstairs hall?
The whole
all the
upstairs
teachers,
hallway?
who's the bully?
This is going to surprise a lot of people, but the bully upstairs, there's 2 bullies, and it's Filer and Guire.
Filer, really?
They come across as the nicest people, but man, as soon as students are gone, they're just mean bullies.
Wow.
Just kidding. Bully upstairs. Who would be a bully? I don't know if there is a bully. I think the closest we'd get to being a bully maybe is Mr. Armstrong, because he sometimes plays tricks.
I've heard he's been talking smack about students with the upcoming game today.
Oh, I haven't heard that.
I've been hearing about that. So, going on that, who do you think's going to win? Do you have the Highland Hoopers, or do you have the Elders with Freddie,
I've got
Fassler,
the Elders.
and...
I wore my bred in support of the Elders. We'll have to see how it goes. But I've seen Briggs in action. He's an unmovable force on the post. And a couple of fast players on the outside. We'll see how it goes. I'm excited to watch.
Could be an equal game, you think?
Yeah. Well, see, I've got my red to support the Elders, but I should say I don't even know who's on the other team.
So the other team has Zach Wheeler, Roger Release, Kevin Lopez, Brandon Pena,
Okay.
and me as
Ooh.
manager.
Are you? Oh, okay. Are you an unmovable force as a manager?
Oh.
How come you aren't playing?
Well, I joined last second, so we're gonna see what happens today.
Okay.
There might be appearance potentially.
That's okay. That'll be fun.
It should be fun.
Boy, yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna go Elders.
Yeah. Okay.
But if I'm wrong,
Hey.
good
yeah,
for the youngsters.
Yeah. So, throughout your 18 years of teaching here, what's been the funniest experience you've had? With students, teachers, or whatever.
There used to be. Oh boy. Teachers used to invite a teacher every year to do a graduation speech, and I think one of the funny. Mr. Armstrong used to give a lot of those because he's a good public speaker and he's funny, and I think one of the things that I laughed loudest about is that he got up there to speak and he said, "Yeah, I sat down, where I do my best thinking and wrote down some thoughts, and he took out a roll of toilet paper and he had written a speech on the toilet paper, which I thought was very funny."
That seems like something Armstrong would do.
That is a very Armstrong thing to do, yeah. Another funny thing involving Armstrong, there's a couple Armstrong things, is he used to wear, some of the older students might remember, he'd wear a full, wool, full-length coat and a wool hat, and on Halloween, his substitute was Mr. Armstrongovich. It was a Russian military uniform.
Oh my gosh.
And he would go through the whole day being Armstrongovich and have Russian mannerisms and speak like a cartoon Russian person, but he would do that during lunch also, and people would try to get him to break character in the staff room, and he wouldn't break character.
Wow, so he was dedicated.
He was very dedicated. Yeah.
Very dedicated.
It was unsettling.
Okay. Last question about your teaching experience: has there been any close calls or scary incidents when you've been teaching here?
I think the scariest incident is I'm a little bit of a smart aleck by nature, and I've had to rein that in. There was, one time I said something really sarcastic to a student, and she started crying, and she started crying unconsolably, and I just felt really awful and small, and like I'd said something terrible, and it made me realize that, and this is something I knew beforehand, and I kind of thought this person was a little. You never know what it's like in a student's day. You don't know what's going on in their lives necessarily, and so you just need to be respectful of and understanding that kids are people too, and they've got a lot going on. And maybe I said something that triggered something else that was going on in this kid's life, and I felt bad, but I think I grew from it, hopefully. And I certainly apologized a whole bunch to this kid, but it felt awful.
Okay, so we're gonna go some current topics right now. So. Before we get to it, do you know the term brain rot?
I looked it up. I know what it is.
Oh, you've done your research.
I did a little bit of research.
Okay, so.
It was exactly what I thought it probably was.
What was it?
Things when you go down the rabbit hole.
Basically.
And on a probably on a cell phone.
Alright, so some current events going on right now. So right now there's a current event of supposedly a murder of a pig named John Pork.
Oh, good heavens.
Yeah, I know. And he was supposedly murdered by Tim Cheese. And there's been all these rabbit holes of, side characters of Marvin Beak, who's going to help it. Or Drabaleo, Shark, who was asked Marvin Beak to come help. And there's just been all these little rabbit holes. And what do you think about the John Pork, Tim Cheese case?
Well, knowing nothing about it, is this something that people, memes?
It's been all over the school, actually. There's been posters of Tim Cheese. He's a little rat. And he is supposedly the murderer of John Pork.
Well, that sounds terrible.
I know.
I think somebody needs to get to the bottom of this.
There's been people like Agent 5.5, who's the actual government official.
Okay.
Or he was a retired government official who's been cracking down, and at one point he was kidnapped from Tim Cheese.
Wow.
And it's just been crazy.
I think somebody needs to figure out how to capture Tim Cheese?
Tim Cheese, yeah.
Tim Cheese, yeah, capture him. And
how would you capture Tim Cheese? Because he is the hardest person to catch in this lore. He's been the Yee Squad. They almost captured him with Pengo, which John Pork was with Pengo when John Pork died. It's very complicated. It's like something you watch at night. So if you're leaving a message for Tim Cheese, how are you going to capture him?
I think you need to. I think you'd need to make some sort of a trap for him.
A trap?
Yeah. Like, so he murdered the first one. And
He
what else
murdered.
did he do?
He murdered John Pork ever since then. He's been on the run.
On the run. Okay. Maybe pretend that John Pork is back to life. And
There is a rumor going around
Okay.
that John Pork is alive.
that he's still alive. Okay.
There's a rumor.
So I think that you need to, and John Pork's alive, and he's going to be at this place at this time, and that's when you pounce.
Oh, so you're setting up a setup right
like
now
a
for
lure,
John
sure.
Pork.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. That's interesting. It's good to know. So if you're watching Tim Cheese, be careful. He's on you.
Nobody's ever going to do that.
Yeah. Oh, so now you know the term brain rot. What was your brain rot during high school? Because we have our brain rot. You've heard it in classes like bruh and like that's so skibbity. Like so, you've heard stuff like that.
Okay.
And you do remember the period when I started screaming about I'm so ugly. Do you remember that day?
Okay.
Okay. Well, I did in your class. There's a video of it.
Okay.
So, what was your brain rot in high school? Like,
So brain rot of meaning like ways that we wasted time, or just things that we just said that was like
things that would
goofy things.
Yeah, goofy things you said that parents would understand.
So we had a guy who went to my high school, and the first time I ever heard anybody say "dude,"
Really, dude was the brain
he said
rot.
"dude," and then we all started making fun of him and saying "dude" all the time. And I think "dude" started at Inglemoor High School in 1986.
Oh,
1985, because it was during
1985.
football season. Yeah, I'm sure that's where it started. Nobody ever said "dude" before that, and it just took
it
off.
just spread.
And yeah, that was a brain rot.
Do you have any in college? You think?
Ooh, college brain rot. Not that I can think of.
I'm not to think of.
No.
All right, so we're gonna play a couple of games now.
Okay.
So, have you done any research about what some brain rot could be?
I just think of brain rot as being like sitting and playing Mario Kart all the time.
That's good. It's kind of close enough.
Okay.
So I want to see.
That's wrong.
I'm gonna get my phone out.
All right.
What to see? Just you can say random. Just try to think of how much brain rot you can say in 60 seconds. It could be any like whatever you think is brain rot,
Okay.
and just we're gonna list how much you can name in 60 seconds.
Wow. You could probably have to do 30 seconds, but okay.
Oh, we'll do 30. If you want 30, we'll do 30. So I'm gonna get my timer set up.
All right.
30 seconds. Let's see how much brain rot you can name. Doesn't matter if you. I'll at the end of it, I'll tell you what's brain rot or not, and
okay.
I'll teach you some terms.
Okay.
All right, so you ready? 3, 2, 1.
Okay. Mario Kart, the snake game, the new snake game.
Oh, okay.
Those seem to be brain rot. TikTok, boy, maybe old people ones are things like Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook,
Okay.
Snapchat. Are those all brain rot, or am I wrong?
You can keep going.
Just keep going. I'm going to be O for brain rot. I guess the pork killer game.
John Pork?
John Pork. I got one at least.
You got it. Okay, that's done.
It's done. Okay. That was getting painful.
All right. So, when you said about Instagram, that is completely correct. That is, yeah. So basically, if you go on Instagram, like if you go on like
More
some,
water.
yeah, if you go on some kid's random phone, you can just instantly find brain rot. There's so much videos of brain rot. It's kind of ridiculous. Snapchat, not really. Pinterest, not really.
I need to do more research.
Mario Kart has some, but like, it's not so much. And John Pork, you got right. So you got like 2 right.
All right.
Ish.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Not bad for an old person.
So some brain rot terms you can use in your classes that I think you can use would be I think one would be perfect would be I cooked, which means I did really good on this.
Oh, so slay. Like
So
if I
yeah.
said slay.
Yeah, say slay. So like that means you
Okay.
you did so good on this. Like say
Okay.
you slayed.
Okay.
Another
I do
one-
like to be about 10 years behind on
Yeah.
my lingo.
And then another one you could say is why are you so skibbity? Like
Cooked,
what?
you cooked.
What, yeah, you cooked. Yeah. Why are you so skibbity? Why are you acting so weird?
Skibby.
Skibbity.
Skibbity. Okay.
Yeah.
Skibbity. Okay.
And one more. That's really all I can think of for right
Okay.
now.
So skibbity and cooking.
Cookie, yeah, and slay, yeah. So
I feel like I'm going to be hip with the kids now.
yeah, so I think that's all the time we have for today. So do you have anything else you want to say to anyone else watching this video?
Yeah. If you watch it before your spring break, have a great spring break.
Yep. Oh.
Be safe.
All right. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.
Nice.